This is the start of the show now. The show has begun. Are you going to say something?
Are you supposed to say something right now?
You could say any number of things right now.
I'm going to do my best introduction. Can I do?
Yeah, do the intro.
Okay. Hola, hola. This is Laura. That's all.
Keep going.
That's all the intro that I
No,
have.
keep going.
I can say it again. Hola, hola. This is Laura. That's
Keep
all.
going.
No, that was all. Let's talk about the movie.
What movie?
The movie that we are going to talk today.
Oh, are you talking about The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring?
Yep, that one.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cinema Lounge. I'm Marshall. This is Laura. She's pretty cool, and she's on the podcast today. And who are you?
I'm Laura.
Tell us more.
I don't know. What do you want to know?
What's the important things about you? Tell us the most important things about you.
This is a cool one. Do you want
Okay.
to know? Something that's cool about myself. I'm from Colombia.
What is that?
It's a country.
What is that?
A country in South America.
What is South America?
South America is in America, but in the south.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool. And yeah, I'm from Colombia. I don't know. I'm cool, I guess. So
Okay, well, we're here in Colombia. The Rings of Power TV show is coming out right now, and it is big Lord of the Rings time. And Laura has not seen any of the Lord of the Rings movies until yesterday and the day before that, because we watched what?
The Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
The first one.
What's it called?
Forget.
Oh.
The Fellowship.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, which was released in 2001, directed by Peter Jackson, starring, a gazillion people who have gone on to be very, very famous. A good chunk of them, weren't really anybody at the time. All of the hobbits hadn't really done much of anything. Viggo Mortensen was out there, but not as in the public mind, certainly. John Rhys Davies had been a very classically trained actor for a long time. Ian McKellen, the same thing. There's an airplane outside right now. Orlando Bloom, who plays Legolas, this is his first ever movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
it is cool.
It is.
So he's talked in interviews about how, he was just a regular guy, and then suddenly, people were yelling Legolas at him all the time and stuff like that. Okay, but here we are. Time to do a podcast. We're going to talk about podcast things. We're going to do podcast things. I've got questions. You've got questions. But first, some information. We always go through the script, score, cinematography, performances, directing, and visual effects. Do you want to know what awards this movie was nominated for and won?
See.
Okay, here we go. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, at the Oscars, nominated for Best Sound, Best Original Song, which is May It Be by Enya, Best Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Art Direction, Set Decoration, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Director, Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Ian McKellen, and Best Picture. It won Best Visual Effects, mostly from Weta Digital, Best Original Score from Howard Shore, Best Makeup, and Best Cinematography. All very well deserved. These movies are going to continue to rack up the nominations and the wins, with Return of the King eventually winning Best Picture, which was wild at the time for a genre movie, not a drama or something, to win the award of awards was absolutely crazy, and still pretty much is. You don't see things like that winning those awards. So, what do you think the story was?
It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know that it's a really famous movie. So didn't watch it yet. It was kind of rough. But I really enjoyed it to watch it with you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It was really good. It was a lot of emotions at once. It was too long. But I really enjoyed it. It didn't feel that long at the end. So that was cool.
I agree. Tell me what the story is. Tell me what it's about.
It's about the Fellowship.
Yes? Can you get a little closer to the microphone,
Oh,
please? You can bring it to you. It's on an arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, audience. I'm new in this.
You moved it to the left. Now move it towards your mouth.
It's because I'm intimidated. It's too huge.
Well, just like you can turn yourself as well to face it better.
Like this?
Yourself, not the microphone. You are not the microphone.
Duh. Okay, wait. Wait. Better? Oh, that's better.
I don't know. Talk to me.
Hola.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay. More than less, it was a really good movie,
Yes.
and I really enjoyed it.
And it's about what?
The Fellowship.
What do they do? Who is the Fellowship? What is the inciting incident? What happens in this movie? What's the beginning?
The Ring?
What happened? Yes. What happened? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You were there asking me many questions the whole time,
That's true. Yeah, like.
which is delightful.
Oh, really?
I like your questions. It's very cute.
Do you really like it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. So it was like these people who has like rings. They were king. I don't remember how many kids it was.
There were 9 men.
Okay, name it. It wasn't kings.
They were kings.
Ah, okay. And 9 kings with 9 rings, and then the evil one has the evil ring.
Yes.
And this evil ring like destroyed the other rings' power,
No.
magic powers. No. It was something like.
Not really. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is the story is about Frodo Baggins, who is a hobbit, which is a little guy, a little
Yeah.
person who lives in a place called the Shire, and they are very peaceful and chill. And his uncle Bilbo went on this big adventure a long time ago and has this ring. It turns out that ring is this like thing that is all evil and encompasses all evil, and they need to destroy it before the evil guys can come and get it and take their power back. That's the story. That's what it's about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Do you remember
was-
now?
Yeah, I remember. I was like
Okay.
going more into the detail. You know.
We don't need to go into the detail. We used to do that, and it took way too long, and no one liked it. So now we don't do that
Ah.
anymore.
Okay, sorry, audience.
Say sorry just to Eric.
Oh, sorry, Eric.
I cannot accept any apology because I haven't gotten an apology to my face. So, think about that.
So hey, that's what the movie's about. I love this movie so much. I love these movies dearly, and we did specifically watch the extended edition. What do you think? Tell me what you think. What are your questions? What do you think of the movie?
Okay, so I have some notes. So I'm
Mhm.
going to through them. So first, my first question is like, what is your favorite card?
What is my favorite character?
Yeah,
Do you want to know what one of my questions was?
the same one.
It's who is your favorite character?
Amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
My question specifically is who is your favorite character right now? Because I'm going to ask you these 4 questions for every single movie,
Okay.
except for the last one, I guess, because one of these questions does make sense for the third one. But it's what were you expecting going in? Who is your favorite character right now? And who is your least favorite character so far? Who do you hate? And then the last question is what are you hoping for from the next movie? Which I obviously will not ask you for the third one because there is not a next movie. So who's my favorite character?
Yeah.
My favorite character in this one is Boromir. I love Boromir. It's a hot take. People don't like Boromir, and I think it's just because they've only seen the theatrical edition where he's like just a rude dude who tries to steal the ring. But I really like Boromir. Like, and the difference between him and Aragorn and the arguments between him and Aragorn are really interesting to me.
Interesting. Because my favorite character is Argonaut, by the way.
Oh.
I really enjoyed him.
Why?
I don't know, it's like just like this pure guy with a
Mhm.
pure heart,
Yeah.
with a lovely one, like trying to like don't have like so much pride to, you know, take the throne or be a king. He just want to be as a good man as he want,
Yeah.
and like helping others, and he's really like how can I say this, like I don't know, like he fights really good. I really
Mhm.
like that. So yeah, he was my favorite character for that.
He's great. I think Aragorn is also interesting in that, like, you get he's not perfect. Like, he has his faults.
Yeah.
That conflict that him and Boromir have of Boromir is so like patriotic to a fault for Gondor, and Aragorn knowing his history and knowing what he doesn't want,
Too.
that kingship
Mm-hmm.
is unpatriotic to a fault, to the point where they could have gone through Gondor and they could have passed through the White City and gone that direction quite safely, probably. But his pride of not wanting to be part of that, and it more than pride, more it's fear
Yeah.
of not wanting to go towards that history and that responsibility is keeping him away from that. And it just, ultimately puts them in more danger than they would have been in, even if there really isn't a good option there, which I think is fascinating, which is why I love then you get all of this stuff of Boromir talking about our people and Gondor and the Lords of Gondor have returned, all that stuff. Trying to bring Aragorn into that, and Aragorn just very subtly being like,
No.
okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's all right, whatever. Until you get that heated argument towards the end where Boromir's like, we need to go to Minas Tirith. And Aragorn says, I would not take the ring within 1,000 miles of your city.
Wow.
And he's angry. Which then, comes to a head finally. You get that resolution there in Boromir's death, which is my favorite part of the entire movie.
It was really good. It was really good. And that happens with me, like my impression of Boromir. Because at the first, I was like hating this character too much. But at the end, it was like, no, Boromir dies. And it was like heartbreaking for me. But to be honest, it was like my last favorite at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't know, it's like this kind of dude that wants power and like too much pride for me. Like he has like that image for me. Or like when he tries to like have the ring and said like, hey, we can like, destroy the other ones or like use the power of the ring for our benefit.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't like him. But then you can realize that he was just being a man, like a normal man.
Who was under like incredible pressure from his father.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's more common to like look like, like it's common to see these kind of like guys, like they have their wickedness.
Yeah. I think Boromir is someone to relate to, and Aragorn is someone to aspire to.
That's true. That's really true. So like these two characters like really makes the movie.
There's an interesting duality to the two of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I really enjoyed it. So at the end, I really enjoyed Boromir as well.
Boromir.
Boromir.
Oh, good job.
Thank you.
De nada.
Improve my pronunciation with you.
Oh, I try.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love Boromir. I cannot watch his death scene and his final conversation with Aragorn without crying. It is like I've become more emotional at movies over the years. Like a lot of movies get me pretty easily, but that is one that just destroys.
Wow.
And I have to try so hard to hold it together. Just because the beginning of that whole arc between the two of them is him finding out from Legolas who Aragorn is. Of like, watch who you're speaking to. You owe him your allegiance. And then Boromir saying, Gondor has no king. Which is, you have a big rift between these guys immediate. And then that ending with, I would have followed you, my captain, my brother, my captain, my king. Is so good.
It is.
It's so good. And I don't remember how exactly that plays out in the book. I haven't read it in like a million years. But it's just fantastic. And it's a testament to Tolkien and to Walsh and Boyens, who wrote the screenplay. Like I don't know how close the dialogue is to the book a lot of the time, but it's just like there's so many fantastic lines in this movie and all of these movies, so many like great quotes, such great speeches, character moments and everything. Gandalf has so many great ones in this
Yeah.
movie.
I like it. That's my other question for you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to ask you, what was your favorite quote?
I mean, I think my favorite quote from the movie overall is "I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king,"
Oh.
just because of the emotion that's connected to
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Like, I've wanted to draw that scene so many times, but I've just never felt like I was able to capture it. I've redone it like so many different times, never quite gotten it, but I really, really want to do that. I adore that. One that I say all the time, and I don't know how this comes up that often, but I love when they're walking into Moria and Gimli is talking about how they're gonna have a great dwarven feast ready for you, and specifically the when he goes, and they call it a mine, and I say that like weirdly often, and I don't know what context that possibly makes sense in, but I just love saying a mine. It's very good. The obvious classic from Gandalf is, which then is repeated later on in the movie at the very end, when Frodo says, "I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had ever happened." And Gandalf says, "So do all who come to see
That's
such
my
times,
favorite one.
but it is not for them to decide.
Uh-huh.
All they have to do, what is it? So do all who come to see such times, but it is not for them to decide. All they have to decide is what to do with the time that is given."
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's very, very good.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Why?
I don't know. Like, no, just kidding. I really know. I love this quote because like it's true. Like so many times you cannot like have control of what is happening or the situations that, or like the purposes that you need to fulfill.
Yeah.
But you can do something about that in the future. If that makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's the reason that I really like it. It's like, hey, like doesn't matter if you don't like it. You need to deal with that and like do your best for
Yeah.
like the purpose, to fulfill the purpose.
And I think this series is full of people who embody that, of just like, this is what we're doing and this is what we have to do. And we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So let's go. Which is really great.
Yeah.
And they're like distraught anytime something, like at the end when the fellowship breaks, Gimli is just like, so it was all for nothing? Like we're all in vain? But Aragorn's like, no, we will not leave Merry and Pippin to
I
the
love
orcs.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like even when the fellowship feels like it was like totally fail and they are broken,
Yeah.
they decide to like just continue because it is what it is and it's like to try to fulfill that purpose.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Just the idea that everyone has some part to play is also really interesting, because they know that, well, we're not going to follow Frodo and Sam, but we have to do something.
So
We have to figure
let's
out what
say-
that is. Even Gandalf like talks about Gollum is following them.
Yeah,
And he's
like, go for them.
he's got some kind of part to play in this.
Yeah.
He's got some feeling that there's some role that Gollum has to play. But we don't know what that is yet, which is interesting. And you'll see he does become very important
Okay.
as things go on. But what else? Galadriel says something to that effect of like, even the smallest of people can make a difference or something like that.
Yeah, I think that I need to like watch the second movie,
Mhm.
but I think like this like breaking part of the fellowship, it was like these characters needs to grow to each other
Yeah.
by themselves.
Yes.
So it's gonna be really interesting to like watch them again together, like when they act like grow.
Hmm.
So that would be cool. Like how these friends grown together apart and then together can be better. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm really interested to the second movie. Like
Yeah.
when the first movie ends, it was like, what? I need more. Like it's becoming really good.
Yeah.
Because okay, I need to be honest. At the first time, it, like kind of be like slow
Mhm.
in a certain degree, but then when it's like getting really cool and interesting, like okay, what is happening? Like let's attack these orcs, and I have a lot of questions about the orcs, but we can talk about it later. Yeah. So it's like, wait, this journey is like the best part is just becoming, is just like a start.
Yeah, like literally half the movie is just them getting to the point where they actually start the
yeah. So I'm really interested into the second one. I think that I'm gonna enjoy it a lot.
journey. Cool.
Yes. So talking about the orcs,
Okay. Ask me about the orcs.
Yes. They're so new for me. They're really ugly. Anyway.
Okay.
So I was like,
You're close to your microphone.
oh, sorry. I was trying too hard to find the difference of the orcs. Because for me, they all look the same. Like, they're really all of the same. But the one who has like this white
Yeah.
hand print on his face. What is about this? So this one is like made in. So okay, in resume, this.
Yeah, we had to. My headphones died, so we had to pause for a second. But now we're back. Go ahead.
Okay, so in the resume, I want to know what is the difference of the normal orcs to the big and huge one who has like a white handprint on it. Is this one that they made? Okay, and I have another question. Like this one, this like or all the orcs are made in, or just this huge one
They're all what?
made making?
They're all they're all made.
Oh yeah, that.
No. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. I never thought, because there's not girl orcs, are there?
No.
Never thought about that. So here's the answer to your first question, is that regular orcs, like Saruman says in the movie, were like an evolutionary deviant from elves, essentially. Like they're basically evil elves. And then the ones that he made are different. And they are like super buff and strong and intense. And they are the Uruk-hai.
Oh.
The
Okay.
Uruk-hai. So that white handprint is just the white hand of Saruman. So that's his branding on them, essentially. Yeah, so the big guy that you're talking about, Lurtz, he's just like the big first leader of the Uruk-hai.
There are gonna be more.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, they made a whole factory
Oh.
for the dudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those ones they are making. The other ones, I don't know how or if more of them show up. I would have to do research into that. I never really thought about that.
Okay.
Weird. I have a question for you. What do you think of the music, dummy?
It was really good.
Yeah?
It was really, really good. I think there was the perfect match for like every like it's a scene.
You talk a little louder and closer to your microphone.
Okay. I think
You
that.
just got quieter
Oh,
and
okay.
went closer to your microphone.
Now it's better.
I don't have my headphones on, so I don't know.
Okay, I hope that is better. Really like it. It was really good. Helps you to like really get into the emotions for like each scene and each part of the movie. It was really good. It was really, really good.
Do you have a favorite song that you can remember, like that was playing at a certain part?
Oh man, let me see. Let me think. Whoa! What they try to escape from this demon.
Yeah.
Whoa! Like the music gets me to dance all the time. And whoa, yeah, that part.
I love that. The I think it's the music, like the Bridge of Khazad-dûm is what that one is called, I think. And it's really good with the French horns like blasting really
Yeah.
loud. I love that. Do you have any other favorites?
Yeah, the one that when the fellowship started the journey.
The Fellowship theme?
Yeah.
The bam, bam,
That's
ba, ba,
that's
ba.
really good. start the journey and like let's see what is happening, what is gonna happen.
One of my favorite things about that, Howard Shore is the guy who wrote the music, the composer for the movie. He's done tons of stuff. He's done a lot of like David Cronenberg movies, who's like this guy who does all these different like horror-ish movies that like he's known for like body horror,
Oh,
like really gross body horror stuff.
okay.
So he did the soundtrack for The Brood, Scanners, After Hours, The Fly. Those last three, I don't know if The Brood is Cronenberg. I know those previous three are. Silence of the Lambs, Philadelphia. Have you seen Philadelphia? With Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. Tom Hanks is a guy who gets AIDS, and Denzel Washington is a lawyer who represents him.
Probably.
It's really good. You'd like it. The Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit movies, The Departed, etc. He's done tons and tons of really well-known stuff. He is so good. And one of my favorite things that he does in this is the way he plays with different theme songs. The way that like the Fellowship theme comes back a lot, but in different ways.
Wow.
So when they're first assembled, you're hearing the whole orchestra with all the horns and all the instruments and everything. And then when Gandalf dies, when you hear it again, it's a slightly smaller orchestration. And then when the Fellowship breaks, it's just a few instruments.
Wow.
So you're getting all of these like thematic things happening in the back of your mind without you thinking about it, of these theme songs slowly breaking down the same way that the Fellowship is slowly breaking down.
Wow. It's
And you
really
get like
interesting.
all the themes come back in masterful ways, like the music from the beginning concerning hobbits, the ba-da-da. Dun, that whole thing, like that's one of the most famous songs from the movie. You get that coming back every once in a while with like you have a moment with Sam and Frodo and stuff like that, and Memories of the Shire, and you'll hear the Concerning Hobbits theme and stuff like that. Yeah, I love Howard Shore. Big fan. The cinematography is fantastic. All these movies are gorgeous. It helps that they have the backdrop of New Zealand to be on the entire time,
Wow.
which is just incredible. It's something that the Hobbit movies kind of lack because they're in a green box for so much of it, and so much of it is CG, where this is 2001 when this movie came out. There was computer-generated effects, but they weren't to the level that they are now by any means.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you're seeing like Rivendell, that is a miniature. So much of that is a miniature, and so much of it is painted, and then you get your guys pasted on there. And like the miniature is behind the set, and I say a miniature, it's a lot of this stuff is as big as this room.
Wow.
The White City that they keep talking about, Minas Tirith,
Yes.
was like ridiculously large, this model, like taller than the ceiling in here by a long
Whoa.
shot. But it's really, really cool,
That is really cool.
and it looks amazing. It
looks-
holds up.
Yeah, I really love the mountains. So if
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
those are real.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I love them. So if you don't know, I really, really love the mountains because my country has a lot of them.
What country?
Colombia.
Oh, do you like Colombia?
I love Colombia.
Okay,
All of you are welcome if you want to come here.
okay.
Anyway, so like watch these like huge and like gorgeous mountains are really good.
Yeah,
And makes me like, I don't know, happy.
yeah,
about
it's
it.
cool.
It's really good.
The level of like ecological diversity of New Zealand is ridiculous. Like to the like, I would be interested to see the comparison between New Zealand and here, because Colombia is like it is the most ecologically diverse and
Yeah.
dense country in the world, isn't it?
It is.
So then you look at these movies, and there's so many different biomes going on throughout these different movies, and it's all New Zealand, and it's so small. New Zealand is so small, and it fits all of that in it, which is just crazy to me.
That's really crazy. Yeah.
I just don't understand it. But it's gorgeous. The cinematography was done by Andrew Lesnie, who has done almost all of Peter Jackson's films. He also did I Am Legend and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. A lot of other things, but those are the things that I picked out specifically. Both great-looking movies. They really sell the fantasy of it. Like, it doesn't feel like you're just in the regular world. Where, like, we were watching House of the Dragon of Thrones, Game of Dragon Thrones today. and they are like walking in the woods or whatever, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, just looks like real people from our world walking in the woods, like regular real woods.
Yeah, it's true.
And Game of Thrones is a much more grounded
For sure.
universe, but even then, like, it's I don't understand what the difference is, the way they shot it, that Game of Thrones looks so plain to me so much of the time, unless you're in one of these fantastical locations like Casterly Rock or the Vale or something, whereas Lord of the Rings is like constantly these fantastical locations, but they are real places
That's
that they're
amazing.
in. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that they're filming in New Zealand as opposed to Game of Thrones, which is in like Croatia and Spain. I don't know. It's just more fantasy.
Probably, I don't know. I was thinking it could be you like can correct me because you're like the one who more like knowledge about movies.
Sure, whatever.
But yeah, like probably I don't know the lights or like the way that they capture the places
Yeah.
could be like
Yeah.
make the difference.
I mean, on sets for sure, because you look at like Rivendell and gosh, whatever the place is called where Galadriel and Celeborn are, like those are sets and you can control the lighting there. Same thing with Moria, you can control the lighting, you can fix exactly what that's going to be, and you can be super specific about that. When you're walking around New Zealand, the sun is your lighting. You can try to use some diffusers and everything to try to make the lighting not as harsh, but you can't move the sun. So it has to be just like the way they shot it, the like effects that they put on top of it, the color grading that they would do, and the grading is gorgeous. By the way, we watched the most recent Blu-ray release, the 4K release, which is the first 4K edition.
Oh,
So it's like super high resolution. It's also the color grading is restored to as close as the original theatrical cut as it has been since the various releases. It's like the previous Blu-ray release, which is the one that I had before this that I gave to my parents now, has this weird tint over it constantly, and it's just strange. But this version is just gorgeous. Like it's just everything about these movies is just beautiful. What else? Performances. Everyone is fantastic in this. We talked about our favorite characters. Ian McKellen is incredible. Apparently, he based his accent on J.R.R. Tolkien, his accent. And I was watching a video of him talking to some students in the 60s, and I can hear it. Like his voice isn't deep like that, but it's like the way that he talks, the accent is there. It's really interesting and really fun to hear, actually. Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen is incredible as Aragorn. All the hobbits who are so new to acting at the time are fantastic. They were so young, too. I think that Billy Boyd might have been the oldest out of all of them, and he's playing the most childlike character out of all of them. He plays Pippin. And Billy Boyd and Dom Monahan, who play Merry and Pippin, are like literally best friends in real life, by the way.
I love that.
You should watch their podcast. They are hilarious together.
I'm going to.
They
for sure.
are exactly like their characters, more than anyone that I've ever seen. Like Dom is very serious and gruff, and then Billy is just so childish and silly and fun and whimsical, and he's just
amazing.
having a good time. It's very entertaining. Like they are the same way that like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are like best friends after the X-Men movies. These guys are like that, and they'll go on vacations with their families together and
I
stuff
love
like
that.
It's
I
so
really
fun.
like that.
And this whole cast is that way.
That's amazing.
The entire cast of this movie, or all of these movies, are like they have a bond. The Fellowship.
Mm.
They're really, really cool. I like them a lot. They're just a cool group. Sean Bean putting in a fantastic performance for one movie as Boromir, doing an incredible job, like we talked about. What else do we have to talk about? I have my questions. We're at 37 minutes, so we're doing okay. So what were you expecting going into this, having not seen any of these movies, not read the books, not really knowing anything about it?
To be honest, I'm really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but what were you expecting? What did you think it was going to be?
I really have a really high expectations, to be honest. Like,
Expectations.
expectations.
Good job.
Because all this, like, all people talk about it, and it's like the movie of the times, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, really mark intergeneration. And
Yeah,
people really
especially
like
like in Christian circles as well.
Yeah,
These
for
movies
sure.
are held up so high.
it. So I had really high expectations.
Expectations. Good job.
And I mean, the movie fulfilled all of them.
Yeah.
It was really good. And I miss these kind of movies. You know what I mean?
No, explain.
Like, I think that now, like, people don't make like really good fantasy movies. That's my opinion.
No, you're right. There's not this, at least not to
Something-
this scale and
Yeah.
size. I think it's just because like so much has moved towards like premium television. Like
Yeah,
everything
for
is on
sure.
TV. There's been a big shift where like TV used to be like the joke, and then The Sopranos turned TV into like the serious medium. And then in these last like 5-6 years, it's just become like the place to be. Streaming is huge. And now it's exploding with HBO Max and everything, but we don't need to get back into that. Exploding as in like falling apart and dying suddenly, which is strange and crazy. But yeah, I mean, and we have like, we're talking about this because the Rings of Power show is coming out.
Yeah.
Like, we do have fantasy kind of at this level, but it's on TV. We're not getting movies. And when we do get movies, it just kind of feels generic.
Yeah. Like, yeah, in a certain degree, for sure. I can get that too. But I really enjoyed it. Like, just gets you really into the whole journey with the characters. And I really love it. I really get excited for, like, all the, travels that they had.
Yeah.
And, challenges that they passed. So, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Even when I'm not, like a huge fantasy fan,
Sure.
as probably you or Eric.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, and I really have a lot of fun. And like, you know what happened with this? Like, even when it's a long movie, you're like expecting more. Like,
Yeah.
I have like that feeling at the end. It was like, I want to watch the other one, even if it's 3 more hours. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
It'll
I really,
be 3.5.
3.5. I don't care. I really want to watch it. I really want to know what is this journey gonna finish, or if they are gonna finally destroy the ring or not.
Yeah.
Or
The ring actually eventually turns into a Godzilla creature and then burns down Tokyo. So sorry.
are you kidding me?
That's big serious.
Oh,
The ring turns into a massive Godzilla and it burns down Tokyo
you're
and New York.
joking.
What are you talking about?
You're
They're going to go to New York and Tokyo and they're going to be like, Mr. President, you have to help us. And the president is going to be played by John Cena. And he's going to be like,
sure.
you can't see me. And he's going to put the ring on. And then he'll disappear.
Oh no.
And then he'll turn into a giant evil John Cena creature and destroy the earth.
Unacceptable.
Then Batman kills him.
Why bet me?
I don't know. I didn't write the movie. Talk to Fran Walsh.
I need to talk with him.
Her.
Her, sorry.
Sexist.
No at
Think
all.
women can't write movies?
Oh come on! I love
Wow.
it. Anyway. Yeah.
That's
Sorry
not a
for that.
denial. Okay, so.
I just missed what I'm gonna say.
Oh no.
You
Is that
just
because you
distracted me.
realized how much you hate women?
That's not true. I actually, all my thesis degree, it was about women's rights.
Oh.
So,
Did you clarify women as opposed to human because women are not human and they deserve rights?
shut up. I know. Anyway, just ignore that.
Okay.
Ignore him. I just forget.
Okay,
the
here's
whole
my question.
idea.
Here's my question. What are you hoping for from the next movie?
I really want to know if Gandalf is gonna like reappear.
Okay.
Like, I know, like, when he died, all the crew, all the fellowship feels so sad. But I'm like, I have my vibe that he is gonna appear
Yeah.
again with a really cool story, or he can save the day.
Oh,
I'm waiting for that.
okay.
So yeah, I'm really excited for Gandalf. And that's pretty much all. And I really want to know if they're gonna be like how can I say this? Like, if it's gonna be more people enjoying the crew, and if it's gonna be a fight. Okay, that's another thing. So let me tell you, I'm not like a fight girl. Like to
Yeah.
watch a lot of violence, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoyed this violence.
Okay.
It was really cool when they fight. They were like really good fighted
Yeah.
scenes, and I'm like waiting for more of them in the next movie. And yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, probably that.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, okay.
Oh, no problem. Oh, I do have another question. What do you think? How do you think like this? How do you think like this to other? This question that I wrote it bad.
Yeah, I can tell.
Let me. Wow. Okay. Let me. Okay. What do you think about this fantasy world as opposed to other fantasy worlds like Game of Thrones, and how would you compare them?
It's really different. I really enjoy Game of Thrones because I studied political science, and for me it was really cool and interesting, like see how politics were working
Yeah.
to each character in the Game of Thrones show.
Yeah.
So I don't think if I can compare each movie. Like
Yeah.
for me are different, and yeah, they're like catch me in a different ways each
Yeah.
one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy both of one. I just hope that the third movie of the Lord of the Rings are gonna be not as bad as the end of
The
Game of Thrones.
Thrones.
For sure, please.
I guarantee it will not. They spend a lot of time ending that movie.
Okay.
There are so many endings in that movie.
Yeah, because I hate this. Like I hate when story really catches me and
Yeah.
I really get interested into it, and I was like wondering, and then boom, bad ending.
Yeah.
It's like the same feeling when you like buy food and it's bad food.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's just a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I also like
No me
food.
gusta empanadas malas.
Oh wait, I love empanadas. But yeah,
Bad ones?
no way.
Oh, okay.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
Yeah.
That's against the law. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I think like it makes more sense comparing these than like the other question is always like Star Wars or Star Trek, and they're just not the same.
Amor, I never watched Star Trek.
Well, here's what I can do for you is I can explain. So here we go.
Hey, I probably not gonna be the only one that I didn't watch Star Trek.
Oh, well, here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain.
And what if you spoil the movie for us?
Oh, Darth Vader dies at the end.
He is dumb.
Oh no, Luke Skywalker is my dad. Spoilers.
Luke Skywalker to that?
Yep. Sorry, I spoiled the movie for you.
Uh,
If you haven't seen Star Wars, then I don't care.
I love Star Wars.
Okay. Can I explain my point now?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The comparison between Star Trek and Star Wars is very similar, the way that people compare Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, because like they're not even really the same genre. Like they're in the same setting, which is for this fantasy and for that space, but they're just in different worlds, where Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are very like fantasy adventure story, like classic adventure story. There's a very clear good guy, very clear evil bad guy, and you're going to go fight the evil bad guy and you're going to take him down, and it's going to be a swashbuckling fun fantasy adventure from which everything else is the blueprint from now. And then Star Trek and Game of Thrones are much more thinky. They're much more like, they make you think. They're very like, they have that political side to them. They have the intrigue. They have the moral questions all the time.
True.
And like Star Trek is in this utopian, post-apocalyptic utopian world, essentially, where like the apocalypse has happened on the Earth, but we've moved so far past it into the future that we're now in this utopia federation of planets, and everything is clean and pristine and perfect and great. And Captain Kirk is the good guy, but we still have these moral questions every once in a while. We go to other planets that are not this perfect utopia, and we see like different allegories for racism and other social issues and stuff like that. Star Trek has always been like extremely like social justice-y and like deep into the political side of things all the way since 1966. Like there's weird, goofy stuff all the time and weird science fiction stuff, but if you look like right under the surface, it's really clear what we're talking about most of the time in that show. But like they're very similar in that way that I really just wouldn't compare them. Same thing with Beatles and Stones. Like they're both bands and they both make music around the same time period, but they're just not the same.
They are not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm totally agree.
Skyrim and The Witcher 3. Let's compare those. What about those? Apple Jacks and Fruit Loops. What about that?
Empanadas and Ronza sandwiches.
Empanadas
What?
and Runza sandwiches. That's crazy.
That's really crazy.
I can't even believe it. Runzas are better, and we all know it.
Whoa.
And we all agree, and the podcast is ending right now. Because,
Okay.
what? Sorry, the podcast over.
Guess who's not gonna have empanadas?
Oh, you, because you don't like them anymore? Because you
love
remembered
them.
Runzas are the better thing?
Come on.
To the Runza? Come on to the Rumza? Rumza? Rumza. Runza marinated in rum. Great idea or bad idea?
Just not gonna answer that.
That's because you agree, but you're embarrassed to say it for the internet.
No way, Jose.
Oh.
Anyway.
She's protests too much.
No. Empanadas are better. End of the discussion.
Then what? Other empanadas that are not as good as Runzas also?
I really like both, but they are not the same, and that was the point.
Like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Same of that.
What? This is crazy. Do we talk about podcast all that time? That's crazy. But hey, thanks for talking to me about Lord of the Rings. Thanks for watching Lord of the Rings. And thanks for listening, Eric and Henry. And Eric, Henry, you can show this to Megan too if you would like. You don't have to. That's okay. And thanks for listening. I'm glad to be back doing the show. Me and Ben are going to be doing stuff eventually too, but right now I'm in Colombia for a few more weeks. We're going to do, I don't know when these are going to come out necessarily, but we're going to do an episode on each of the movies, and then that's the game, Jack, and it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time, and it's been a podcast, and now we are going to watch The Two Towers. And it's going to be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I really want to watch it.
I'm excited. This is probably the one that I've watched the least.
Ooh.
Yeah, I watched Fellowship a lot, and I've seen Return of the King quite a bit. But I don't usually go to the middle chapter for some
Why?
reason. I don't know.
People
'Cause
say
I'm
that is
dumb.
the best one.
Yeah, they do. That's why I said that earlier. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm going to end the show now. I love you, Laura.
That was so funny.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Bye. Thank
What?
You for listening.
Hold the ABC. You love me too.
What?
She doesn't love me. Okay, thanks.
okay.
That's been the podcast. That's
Wait,
the
wait,
show.
wait, wait.
What?
Ciao, ciao.
It's not. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. That's a great sign off. But we're not there yet.
Oh, sorry. Can
Okay.
you go there?
Give me just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the show, everyone. This is the podcast. We're going to do more of these eventually, and it's a pretty cool time. If you want to get in contact with the show, you can go on Instagram at Cinema Lounge Pod on Instagram, and there's also the Gmail, which I don't remember offhand right now, and I've forgotten to check for about forever. So probably DM us on Instagram if you want to see anything or hear us talk about it or have us hear what you're talking about or see what you're talking about, whatever. And also going to start posting stuff on there, and you can check it out. Yeah, that's the show. That's been the show, and I've been Marshall.
Okay, now?
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao.